Yo, what is going on, guys? Scott Hiker Toad here, and we are here with NPL Week 5. The middle of the season, of the regular season, is approaching, and we are going up against Tone, coach of the Maine Red Clawitzers. So definitely recommend you check him out down below. He's a really cool dude. Not doing the best right now, but he's definitely still a good player nonetheless, and this won't be an easy battle. So I'm gonna just hop right into his team. He has the Mew, Scolipede with Z, Heatran, Megaseptile, Mamoswine, Primarina, Zoroark with Z, Kommo-o, Mimikyu, and the Rotom Fan. So things to note, the Kommo-o and Mimikyu are not Z, so that makes them instantly a bit less threatening, so that's pretty nice. And this matchup is very weird because I think on the surface it's in my favor, and I think that regardless it's probably in my favor still. But basically, I think because my team sort of forces certain teams to build a certain way, and by that I mean he can't build a defensive team and succeed, I think, because I have stuff like Charizard X and Terrakion that are really good at pressuring his bulky mons, as well as my own Persian actually this week. And I feel like if he's and I feel like an offensive team can really just break down my walls as this first mon here. You have the Celesteal. I just have a defensive Celesteal with Toxic, Earth, Air Slash, Earthquake, and Heavy Slam. Hits pretty much everything. Don't really need Seeds or don't really feel the need for Leech Seeds and all that. But basically, this is like my main Scolipede check, and if this goes down, then Scolipede can really just run through my team, or something like the Mimikyu or the Mega Sceptile. So if he's like to run like all three of them and like try and just pressure my Celesteela, then and if my Celesteela gets pressured too much, then it just becomes not a reliable check to that Scolipede and the Mimikyu, and even Mamoswine to an extent, so he just has a lot to pressure it. So I really have to be careful not to be too passive this matchup, because he can just take that as an opportunity to set up and just break through my team. So it's very interesting. I feel like we're both somewhat forced to build and play somewhat offensively more than we might like. And I feel like the players who might not do that might be punished for that. So yeah, I have Celesteal. I really just needed to check like pretty much like half his team: Scolipede, Mega Sceptile, Mimikyu, checks Kommo-o as well, checks Mamoswine. It's just really, really important here. And like I said, I want something that can pressure him. So I have the Charizard, and this is probably like the first like Vortex Charizard like ever used, but yeah, I don't really need setup on this because first off, I don't have the opportunity. I won't have many opportunities to set up, and second off, I don't need to set up because with rocks and like if I can toxic some stuff, this thing can just destroy his team. And the thing that works in my favor offensively is that his fast mons are Scolipede, Mega Sceptile, and Zoroark for them, like over base 100. And so I have speed tier advantage over everything else. Like my Charizard outspeeds everything bar those three mons, and that's huge. So without even like a speed boost, I can just outspeed the majority of his team and hit it really hard. So that's really good right there. So yeah, just Vortex and everything. He has a team that kind of forces me to bring Vortex, and like if I don't bring Vortex, then certain mons might be harder for this to break. Like if I don't have Thunder Punch, like if I have Sword Stance over Thunder Punch, Primarina might be harder to break. Like a bit harder. It's still not that. It's still not like a wall to this or whatever, but it's definitely a bit of a nuisance. So yeah, this is my sort of main breaker, and we also have another breaker here in Terrakion with just dual stab, sword stance, and quick attack. Quick attack's actually really nice because it can pick off a weakened Mew, Scolipede, Sceptile, all those. Because like I said, he has a lot of setup options, and I want to be able to pick off those mons with priority, or just get a big hit off and then pick them off with priority. So I really want to be able to stop that priority, because I mean that his faster mons, because if I can stop his faster mons, that can really put in a lot of work with my Terrakion and the Charizard. Also, this thing's really nice for like outspeeding Zoroark. Zoroark's pretty annoying to my team. It's like I'm unsure if it's going to come, but if it does come, it'll be definitely a nuisance because Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, and then Sludge Bomb hits everything on my draft. Plus a setup move in the 4th slot, I'd assume. So yeah, that's pretty scary. But yeah, Terrakion's just pretty hard for me to switch into. Like, his best switch in is Mew, and Mew still takes a decent chunk. Unfortunately, this is not Z. But actually, I'll just spoil this now. After this week, I am switching Z Celesteela to Z Terrakion and Z Persian. So yeah, I'm going to be able to use Z for those two, so that's really cool. But yeah, I'm going to move on next to my Decidueye. Decidueye really helps me sort of keep offensive momentum while also being able to check his mons, and that's really what I like about it this week. As you see on my team, I don't have removal because I can't run it on Assault Vest Mon. I don't have Rotom, and I wasn't really the biggest fan of Rotom this match. It's mainly here for Mamoswine, but everything else it doesn't really do. It's not needed, and I felt like I needed other mods. Like, I needed them. They're part of the team, that important glue or important offense. So I felt like Rotom Wash was the most expendable mon, because I did have it on the team for a long amount of time. But yeah, I have this Decidueye here, U-Turn, Leaf Blades, Shackle, and the Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak's really good at picking things off. And just really Spadef helps check the Primarina, and I can eat a Specs hit from that with ease. I can take 2 hits from it, and I can just fire it back with a Leaf Blade or just U-Turn, predicting him to switch out, because he does have some good Decidueye switch-ins. Also a check to the Sceptile, although I expect him to be a Sword Stance 3 attacks Mega Sceptile if you were to bring that, so it doesn't check this as well. But yeah, regardless, I think that Decidueye is a pretty good mon in this matchup, and as well as checks the Mew. I forgot to mention that. Like, if he's like a nasty plot dual dance set, like I can hit him with a Shackle and a Sneak, and yeah, I can take a hit from that. I can even take a +2 Psyshock, unless he's like a boosting item, so that's really cool. And next up, I do have the Alolan Persian. Now, Alolan Persian is actually really cool this matchup because offensive actually kind of just blows him back. Well, not really blows him back because it's a Persian still and it has like 60 attack, but it's very solid against him nonetheless. And like I said, I think that having that speed tier is really important in this matchup, as this outspeeds everything bar Mega Sceptile and a Scolipede with a speed boost, so I do have enough speed for that without a speed boost up. So if he's not like Protect, because Protect is really something that certain players I know will never run Protect. I'm not entirely sure on Tone. I think he might have run it a few times. I did scout his Scolipede sets to see if he would run Hazard Stack, because he hasn't run Hazard Stack once this entire season. So that's why I was actually okay with not bringing Hazard Removal this game. But I don't think, and even if he does like have Protect, that just means 1 less coverage move, so I'm fine with that. And yeah, Play Rough hits the Kommo-o for good damage. It's like does like around half. It's a shame it doesn't do more, but obviously it's a Persian, so what can you really expect? Black Glasses is really nice because putting investment in attack doesn't increase foul play damage, but the Black Glasses does. So I can do a bigger amount of stuff like just like Scolipede, Mew, Tran, Mamo, just all. I can do more damage in general. I didn't really care to have another item. Spadef-ish, like HP and Spadef to help take on the Mew, and because that's really good, and I can also revenge the Mimikyu with this 100% once the disguise is broken, and I can Parting Shot on it anyways, so that's really, really good there, so I really like that here. And lastly, we have the Piloswine, the god himself. Really wanted rocks here. Rocks, I think, are important for pressuring a lot of his threats, like Scolipede. Pressures the Rotom Fan. I'm not honestly expecting the Rotom Fan. Like, I know that it's a very good Celesteela response, but I feel like he has better ways. But I feel like his approach should be to just pressure down the Celesteela and not give it those free turns. And like if I'm an offensive Celesteela, that means just like Scolipede and Mega Sceptile and Mamo just all like break my team easier. So it's really, I feel like it's a win-win for him to bring like a offensive Scolipede or something. So yeah, I'm oblivious this week. I actually have like no reason to run Big Fat. Obviously he has the Heatran, but I think that Oblivious is more important because of Mew. And because Oblivious, what it does, if you guys don't know, it makes it so you cannot be taunted. So if he has Taunt Mew and he tries to taunt me, then I can just Toxic him and put that thing on a timer. And I can also just get up my rocks as well. Like if he wants to taunt me with like Mew or Tran, I can just put up my rocks, and this thing can still take like a hit from Tran, I think, if needed. And I think I do have the Tran checked anyways. It shouldn't be too much of an issue, I feel, but we'll see about that. And that's pretty much my entire team. Really want to pressure him. I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick game, so yeah, I'm going to hop right into it in a bit. Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back with the game against Tone and his red mate and his Maine Red Clawitzer. Can't say his team name for my life, but if you did not check out the sets that we are bringing and all that for this matchup, definitely recommend you check out the builder. But if you did not, I will quickly go over the sets, as I just have a 4 attacks, breaking Charizard. I have a defensive Celesteela to help check the Scolipede and Accept out the likes. I have offensive breaking Terrakion as well with quick attack priority, and Sword Stance with just dual stabs to help break him down. I have Assault Vest. Decidueye helps check the Primarina and gain momentum against stuff like incoming Tran, and helps check the Mew as well. I have Black Glasses, Golden Persian with Play Rough to help check the Como, taunt for just stopping him from getting up rocks and setting up and all that, and Parting Shot and Foul Play to just do some damage and lower his stats. And then I have Oblivious Paloswine, because we are oblivious to taunts, so we can get up those Toxics and rocks with just priority Ice Shard and the Earthquake. Considered Icicle Spear on it just because it breaks the Mimikyu's disguise and does some damage that turn as well. But I figured I could deal with the Mimikyu if it came down to it. So yeah, I'm just gonna hop right into this. I'm going to lead off with my Paloswine as he leads with the Scolipede. As looking at his team, he did actually bring the Rotom Fan, which I wasn't really expecting, so I want to get up rocks to help pressure that immediately, and his ground resist is that Rotom Fan, so I'm not really too concerned about I can just fire off an Earthquake turn 1 if I really wanted to, and that is exactly what I'm going to do as he fires off the Spike. Now, this is the first time that he's brought spikes this season, so definitely did catch me a bit off guard. Thought that an offensive Scolipede would be very good here, but it seems as though he's trying to hazard stack me here with the Spike Scolipede and then either rocks like Tran or Mamo, I'm assuming, because I don't think you'll have enough slots for it on Mew. But yeah, this is definitely very annoying because if you want, you can get 2 layers of spikes up here. But as you see here, he gets the speed boost, and he's actually going to switch out into his Mew to preserve that Scolipede for later, maybe to fire off an Endeavor against my Celesteela. As this is just a free Toxic here, he can't taunt me, so that's really, really nice. So I can just Toxic that, and I can get up my rocks on the next turn as he goes into his Mamoswine. And I can take any hit from this, so I'm just going to fire off the Earthquake now, as he's going to fire off an Earthquake of his own. And just looking at it, I think that Mamoswine could be a very good rocker here, so I don't want him to just get up rocks for free, so I'm going to just stay in an Earthquake. I don't need Paloswine at this point because he doesn't have the Sceptile, and I really wanted Ice Shard for that Sceptile, but it's obviously not here, so it's not as important. So he's just going to Earthquake again and take me out. I can go into my Charizard and revenge this. He is not going to go for the Ice Shard. I'm assuming he just didn't want me to set up, which is fair on him. And he's going to go into the Heatran. So basically, I can go for the Earthquake here because if he's not Chukka, he dies. And if he's Scarfed, I can still take an Earth Power. I can take like a modest Earth Power, so I really don't care about that. So Earthquake is just a free play because, as you see, he is Chukka, and if he wants to go for the rocks here, then I punish him extremely for that because I can just kill this off the next turn and still be at full HP. So that's really, really good, as he's just going to go for the Earth Power. As I'm going to go for the Earthquake again, I don't lose anything by it. I have no reason to predict. I think I'm in control of this game right now as I just fire off a huge Flare Blitz, weakening this Rotom as he's going to Thunder Wave me, and I'm just going to sack off my Charizard. I thought that he might potentially be Scarfed with the Rotom, but he's just, I think, defensive to help check and offensive Celesteela. So yeah, that's pretty good there, and Charizard did its job just killing the Mamoswine, weakening the Tran, weakening this, so that's really good. As looking at his team, Alolan Persian doesn't have many responses now, as it kills the Rotom, it can pressure the Mew, it can pressure the Mimikyu, and it can outspeed a non-protect Scolipede, so that's really, really good there. Although, because he is a Spike set, I think that he might actually be protect on it. So yeah, that's something to note. As I'm going to kill this, and he's going to go into his Heatran. So if I wasn't Black Glasses, Foul Play would be a roll to heal him. However, since I am the Black Glasses, this actually just straight up knocks him out. Like, even if he's like max HP, and I don't think he's much defense because of the damage from Earthquake, so basically he just dies to the Foul Play here, and that's just what happens. So yeah, it's really, really good. The Black Glasses really came through here, as now he's forced to go into the Mimikyu, I think, signaling that he does not have the Protect on the Scolipede, so I can just go for the parting shot. He's going to fire off the player off. It does 0. It just bounces off. So yeah, it's really good. I can just fire off a Heavy Slam here as he goes into the Mew, and he's really low now. And on the following turn, I can switch out, and I'm actually going to go into my Terrakion. I'm going to let him roost, but basically Terrakion isn't really important in this match anymore because it loses to the Mimikyu. I can break its disguise, but I don't need it to do that. And the Scolipede could have like Earthquake or Superpower, so I don't really need it for that. And like it's at like 17% after rocks regardless. So what this thing can really do is it can help pressure the Mew. And I'm just going to go for the Stone Edge and get some big damage off on there as he's going to fire off the Toxic and sack off his Mew to the own Toxic of my own from the Power Spine earlier. As he's going to go into the Mimikyu, and at this point, Celesteela just wins. Mimikyu cannot break this as it's not Life Orb and it's not Z, and the Scolipede cannot break this, so Celesteela is just a free play here, as he's going to go ahead and double out into the Scolipede and make a very nice play. So basically, what this does is, if he was like a more offensive Scolipede, maybe I would have fallen for this. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, this game was like a week ago, I think, so who knows what I was thinking back then, but yeah, basically his play, like he was a sort of like spike stacker Scolipede, so he 100% in my mind has Endeavor. So I think that he's 100% without a doubt clicking Endeavor here. And if he does not go for, and so because of that, my play will be to go into the Decidueye. And because if my Celesteela gets Endeavored, then that means that the Mimikyu has a chance to win. And it's still like not the best chance in the world, but it's still a chance, and I really don't want to give the Mimikyu that opportunity. And at the very least, it will probably lose me a differential or two trying to play around the Mimikyu. So I really need to be careful about that. So with that in mind, I'm going to go into my Decidueye here. Even if he somehow kills my Decidueye right here in one shot after the spike, I have Quick Attack Terrakion in the back that I can go into to revenge this. And the Scolipede is dead to rocks, so if he switches out, it's dead. So if he does expect me to scout for the Endeavor here and kills my Decidueye, then I probably lose a differential point or two, but he, as you see, is going to fire off the Endeavor, and we can just kill him off on the following turn with the Shadow Sneak, so that's really, really nice. So really good, didn't choke that away, but yeah, I can just go into my Celesteela now, as he just goes for the Shadow Claw. This like bounces off me, so I can just Heavy Slam here, as he goes for Last Ditch Effort Sword Stance, as his disguise is broken, and he pulls out the red card, which is actually really cool prep. Shoutouts to you, Tone, on that for that. I actually didn't really expect that. I actually forgot, I forgot that was a thing, even though it's like really good, because obviously you attack with like your counter or whatever, and then you get forced out. But unfortunately for Tone, I do get forced out into my Alolan Persian, so I can just kill this off with the Foul Play. If I got forced into something else, maybe it would have been a 3-0. I'm not entirely sure how much Celesteela takes from +2, as that probably would have been my play, because Persian can take a +2 sneak with ease, even a +3, I assume. So even with like a crit, but yeah, GG Two-Tone, definitely was a bit of a rough matchup for you, and definitely my offense kind of just overwhelmed your defense as you tried to check my threats. So definitely Definitely well played by you, though. Made some good plays to try and get back in the end. So baking off of my choke. So yeah, with that, I think we are 4-1 plus 12, which is actually really good. We are at the top of our conference right now, as this was actually a conference game, so this is really important. As if we did lose to Tone, he would have gotten back into the race, as that would have, and we would have been put down in the race a little bit. So yeah, it's really good. We're doing really good right now on this halfway season. So hopefully we can keep up the pace and hopefully make a run for playoffs and eventually majors, because we do not give up. But yeah, that is going to be it for this week, and we are going to be back next week for week 6 against Lord Zeden. So peace.